Good day, gentlemen and ladies. As promised on the previous video, and also at the springtime when I removed my snowblower from my tractor, when I disconnect it, as I talked to you about fixing the inside of the chute, the propeller chute for the snowblower basically. And what I'm worried about is the wear and tear, the normal wear of the inside of the drum, because of course I have crushed rock, I have various ice formation, those like ice, hard snow basically, and that make the drum inside with some like normal wear. And to prevent that, like I did on my John Deere mower deck, is I'm going to use fiberglass resin, just the resin, not the normal clothing. Usually when you repair a surface, is you do the mix with the resin on the you put it on the surface, then you put the whatever you need as the clothing of the fiberglass cloth, you put it over, and then you put another coat of the fiberglass resin, and that's it. Now on the mower deck, I didn't put the fiberglass cloth, and I'm gonna do the same. Why? Because I want a very smooth surface, like it end up on the mower deck. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. First of all, you need to clean very well the inside, and you know how much oil and grease I put on my snowblower, so there's no corrosion at all. Matter of fact, there's no corrosion at all. Like I keep oil everything, so where there's oil, there's no rust. It's basically as that, and grease also, but a good amount of oil and grease, it's keep the thing in great running order. But inside of here, inside the surface of the drum, I clean everything, I degrease, remove all the oil, and I use, I did wash it with normal soapy water, then I rinse it, then I clean it with a cloth, a cotton cloth. I let it air dry under the sun, and then I just push it back in there. And this morning here we are, ready to put the fiberglass. Now on the fiberglass can, there's always the hardener. Now to have the proper mix, you just remember that the full can is the full hardener, and it doesn't take too much. So it's just the level is right about there, so there's not too much hardener. So I'm not gonna use, I just want to put a thin coat, and I think using the whole can will be too much. And these are expensive. I don't remember the price that I pay, but I'm gonna use about half of it, and we'll go from there. Basically, what I want to do is I'm gonna do the mix, and once the mix is start to when I do the mix, I use a wooden stick, and then I mix it. And Scotty, I'm gonna start to apply it, because I want to put all around. So if it's too much liquid, then it's gonna start to fall down. If it's like kind of a jelly, if I understand what I'm saying, less liquid but more on the jelly side, then I'm gonna use a paintbrush. Of course, the paintbrush, I'm gonna lose some paint, hair paint, you know, this. And but hey, that's the main thing, is to have a better protection, better than paint, and harder and smooth, so the snow does go in here. When everything is dry, that will be tomorrow, I will paint everything in good black color, and yeah, all right. So let's do that. Now the safety aspect is, this is a chemical product, this is also a chemical product, so you're gonna see me wearing gloves. I didn't put my safety glasses, but I'm gonna put safety glasses, because that stuff it's not too good on your eyes. And Yeah. So let's do that. All right. I'm just thinking about everything. Yes. So I'm gonna get my safety glasses. Cheers. All right. One thing that I completely forgot to mention to you folks is when you start the mixture with the resin, and when you mix it, you get roughly, depends of your temperature, the barometric pressure, the humidity level, and I'm forgetting something else. Anyway, there's 4 aspects. The time of getting from liquid to jelly to hard, it may vary, but usually within 15 minutes roughly. Not how much time so it does dry fast. So make sure then you have you're working in a controlled environment, so you don't have any kids, like no wife bugging you while you're doing that, or dogs or children's. Did I say wife? Yes, yeah, that happened to me often. You were doing stuff and then oh, all right. Boy, single life, yes. All right, now yeah, safety glasses, because you don't want that thing inside your eyes, touching your eyes, because you go blind right away. All right, so glove first, and let's do that. No more talking. And all the instruction, there's you need glasses to read this because it's so small. And also, if you ever use the clothing, there's oh, by the way, they does made a video from 3M. So yeah, all right, let's do that. We have way to make you speak, you know. All right. No thanks. I'm gonna use about half of it. More. That sounds right. Okay. If you want to reuse it again, make sure you clean the all around. Put the cap. Put that on the side. Right. More. All right. Extra tight, and when you put the black cap really tight, and do put it exactly how you buy it. With the cap. Oop. That cap is really tough to install. There we go. So that way it's safe like this. All right. No rush. You just have to, and then you're doing the mixing. The important of mixing is that the hardener have the chance to react chemically, react with the epoxy, not the resin, sorry. So that's why you have to take the time to do a really proper, take the time to mix it. And as you're mixing it, you can see the density, the jelly of it. So yeah. Right now the temperature is 18 degrees Celsius. The humidity level is at 40% right now. it's kind of dry. It didn't rain for last 2 days, which is very rare here right now. This summer we were bone dry, but this summer it's like, can you imagine, like almost 13 inches of rain in just the month of June, above the normal average. Like that's why we have they had mudslide, landslide occurring in one of the city here in the Saguenay region. The city is called L'Abbé, and there's about 60 houses touched by that mudslide, but I think one of the two houses did slide. So now they're securing, they putting big concrete wall, and they digging wells to secure the land. So yeah. Make sure that I forget to mention a well ventilated area, because that thing is chemical. It was always the same smell, these type of glue chemical. Like when I used to fix a life raft on various aircraft, like contact cement, like 3 coat on each, and then you put it. Yeah, it's, you don't want to smell that, so make sure it's open air. It starts to jelly right now, not too much. I don't know if you can see, but it's tough to like you can it's starting to jelly, yeah. So at this point right now, I'm just gonna put a very light coat everywhere with the paintbrush. And the way I do it, I just basically like you're putting a paint, like as you painting, and I'm moving the propeller too. So the propeller, I mean the impeller. And right now I'm very happy because the it's sticking in the up position. So you want to have a good coat all around. Now I'm gonna go on that side. Now that little light coat, what it does, it fill up all the crevices, that the rock goes against the surface. And what I'm going to do also, I'm going to put a little bit of that epoxy on the propeller itself at the tip where it get often contact. So that will also give a protection on the propeller itself, the impeller, you know what I mean, whatever you call it, that thing throw the snow in the chute. It's feel like a thick, basically like a thick coat of a paint. There you go, I did 4 of them. So I'm gonna put another coat, and I'm gonna, because the stuff starts to dry, as it dries, then I'm gonna just continue to put the pour coat on it. And I really like that product because it's better than paint, and it cut the oxygen, it cut all the bad stuff like the salt. Yeah, about half for the size is perfect because that's it. Great. Again, do make sure it's a very well ventilated area. If not, you have to use a mask with the proper protection cartridge, which is probably will be with charcoal filter, with the dust filter. It's the most efficient one. I'm just gonna throw another coat on the impellers. And the last one. As you can hear, my dog is still yapping. All right. So what So I'm trying to put the thickest coat at the end, so that way it will be a smooth surfaces. But that's why you have to wait, because on the upper position, or like if you were painting the ceiling, it's not gonna fall on you. If it was too liquid, yes it will. And I paint also around the rims. The cloth, by the way, that give a structural integrity of whatever you're fixing, and the resin is give you the glue, and also giving giving more structural integrity of the clothing you install. Now, what I want is not, I'm not looking at the structural integrity. I'm just looking at the smooth surface and a good glue. And that's what the resin provide. If I was putting a cloth, what I'm worried about, if I have like a larger rock and that cloth start to rip off, it won't rip off, but it was cause humidity between the cloth and the steel, and that corrosion will occur. But only resin, it's easy to fix. You just buff it a little bit, and then you just simply put another coat of resin above it, and that's it. I'm almost at the end right now of the drum. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so as you can see, it's empty. And yeah, Okay, so at this point, I just make sure that the propeller is in X shape, so the lower propeller doesn't touch the make contact. I still have a good gap between the propeller and the drum, and I'm just gonna wait to dry. And usually before you paint, you have to wait a good 24 hours of so the as a react. So that will be the first part of the video. Like I can see then it start to stick, and yeah. So that will be less than right now. It's 16 minutes I have on the camera. So yeah, I can tell it start to stick. It start to yeah. So right now, as the pressure, like I told you, the temperature and everything, it may take longer or shorter. Humid definitely will take longer time, but it's windy. I have a nice breeze right now, so yeah. But basically, do take the time because that's chemical project, and you want a very well ventilated area, safety glass, gloves, and so you don't make skin contact. If you do skin contact, please wash faster because it go through your skin and it affect also your mind, like any type of chemical will do. All right. And it's not stressful. It's just you just have to take your time to do the proper job, and just make sure you have a nice coat, and that will create a nice. I can see it's like a mirror in there. So oh, one thing, make sure it's not a dusting environment because the dust will affect whatever dust you are, like wooden or steel, whatever dirt. So make sure it's a clean environment, and on that it starts to stick. All right, so dispose of it properly. Me, I always keep I always keep it because they're a great container. Those plastic jug, I may use it for another something else. All right. So that will be it for the first part. The second part will be tomorrow. It's gonna be one video, by the way. So stick around, and any question about using this is how I did also the my John Deere LA 135 SC mower deck. All right, so that's how I fix it and give it more structural integrity. All right, stick around. Cheers. Good day, gentlemen and ladies. You can see the maintenance book. Yes, I'm gonna do a video about the books of the snowblower and also the electrical chute. Before that, I paint all over the snowblower. I had no corrosion because you know I keep my thing oily with the SAE 30 oil everywhere all year round, except on springtime I swept everything because of all the dust. But I've got no corrosion whatsoever. The reason why I paint it is because all my yellow paint was chipping away. I painted yellow here in this area because I thought it will make a better video effect for you folks. But I had no comments whatsoever, so I repainted black. One thing, like I told you, it's today we're Tuesday, so it's been almost 4 days since I put it's not epoxy. I forget the name of the project I put in there. It's a fiberglass, a resin that I put in. It was very slippery, so I really like it. I only put one thick coat, and we'll see how it does. It is the same. It is the same stuff that I put under my mower deck. So that will wait at the fall how it passed for the summertime, and this will wait after the springtime after this winter. All right. Now, what I want to talk to you, it's important tips. All the snowblower have various size of shear pins. On snowblower, there's the front hoggers, which I have a shear pin right there, and the other one is there, and this one is brand new. Remember,
one video I broke it. So the front shear pin, I keep it oily. When I clean, I put oil. But when I'm talking about the shear pin, which is often missed, and I think often that the reason why the propeller, the auger, whatever you take, the chute mechanism who throw the snow, is because of the corrosion. And I'm gonna show you something. All right, so this is the propeller here. All right, now that propeller is protected with two shear pin. One shear pin is right here what I'm pointing at, and I can move it like really easily because I keep my stuff oily. All right, so of course it's not, there's a shear pin you connect to the shaft, but there's also another shear pin smaller which is connected to there and also connected to the propeller too. So you can see I'm not gonna move the propeller, the shaft is not moving, but the propeller is, and this one is free. The reason why I want you to talk about it, if you start to have corrosion between there and here, that part where I'm spinning, the shear pin will act as a shear pin, but also all the corrosion, it will be corroded, welded together, and at that point the shear pin is no longer making his job. So if the propeller hit a piece of wood, then you're in trouble because the whole thing is all rusted. So once a year, just disconnect the shear pin and oil and grease the back part of here. Here what I do is I just put oil in there and I oil it all around like so. All right. So that's I hope you understand my tip. Basically, just remove the shear pin and keep it oily. These, like the front auger, it's a big boat and stuff like that. But look at the small shear pin. This is the one for the on the shaft, and this is the one connected. This one here, it's a small one. So if it's corrosion occurs, it's going to be corroded, welded, or weld corroded together. So and then you may end up with something. On that snowblower, I had some shear pin front change. I never changed these. All right. However, I had one broken directly on the PTO shaft, which is down there. All right. So that's an important tip I want you to consider, especially for these high velocity snowblower. There's if I may tell, there's low velocity, high volume snowblower, which means you take a large volume of slow speed and they throw it. All right. And this one is a small volume but high velocity. They both achieve the same. The distance doesn't matter. All right. Well, it does in some effect. But what I try to say is accident will happen faster on these than a slow, low volume, a high volume, slow thrower. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. All right. Now, Ross on the land made an outstanding video about these changing the oil in there, and we'll talk a bit later on the book. I'll let you know which oil you need for this particular snowblower. All right. Now, the general maintenance on the snowblower, and this is only me, I like to keep it everything oily. Why? Because the turret is working, it's exposed to humidity. I'm bringing inside the garage. My garage is heated. I have a dehumidifier, but by keeping it always oily during the winter time, all the gear, the turret, it's working marvelously. At springtime, then I put a rag, I clean everything. Then during the fall, at the beginning, I re-oil everything, and I've been doing that since 3 years now. And have many videos who prove that the snowblower it's working like
marvelously very well. All right, so let's talk about these very nice maintenance book, and this is the Mahindra Snowblower. It's basically made by Bercomac, and Bercomac, it's a company here in Canada, in the province of Quebec. I can tell you it's in that stock. In Quebec, it's at stock. It's named for mines, and that's where they basically made these outstanding snowblower. All right, and Mahindra decided to choose them for the official snowblower. There's other snowblower than dealers may want to use, but this one is a Mahindra snowblower, and it's the model number is a BER563PT. All right, so it's a 56 inches large snowblower. It's kind of weird talking snowblower right at the beginning of the summer, almost in the middle of the summer, because we are the 12th of July, yes. All right, so that Mahindra book, like you can see, it's all dirty because I use it often. It's for the assembly, the operation, the repair parts, and the maintenance. So, like I say, make it your own, the maintenance book. So let's start by the first page. It's basically the table of contents, so everything is there. The safety precautions, safety decals, as assembly, how to assemble the PTO shaft on it, how to install it on your tractor, the operation, snowblower operation, control, snow removal, maintenance, adjustment, lubrication, shear pins, belt replacement, pulley replacement, dismount storage, parts, everything is in that book. And they talk about the warranty on the first page. Now the second page, of course, to the purchaser. This new accessory was carefully designed to give years of dependable services. This manual has been provided to assist in the safe operation and servicing your attachment. So it says an attachment, it's not an implement. All right, and there's also all the safety precaution. Like there's a couple, preparation. Truly inspect the area where the accessory is to be used and remove the door mats, all foreign object, and the like. My golden retriever, they really like to booby trap my snowblower. This one, and I had another one. They were taking piece of wood, they showing, and they just leave it there. And there we go, like a big piece of maple hardwood. Try to snowblower and that, and then sling in there. Oh my goodness! So I called them the saboteur, the fur saboteur. So often, so what I was doing basically, I just walked the area where I snowblower. I put the dog inside, and then as they grow up, they were getting smaller, and sometimes the piece of wood there was a throwback in their direction at a speed of sound toward their rear. All right, I never beat my dog, but sometimes he was near. All right, so let's go back to the favorite subject, maintenance. So the preparation, handle, fuel will care, the normal safety precaution that you will find on your tractor manual on any type of implement or attachment. Now, there's some safety precaution that I marked on page 3. After striking a foreign object, stop the engine. It's very important. Stop the engine, let it cool down, then shut it off. Because you're going to put your hands in there. You don't want to have your hand in there when the engine is working, especially with these new electrical switches, PTO, electrical switch. You can go back and you have your hand there. Sad story will happen, all right? So shut down the engine, that way you're safe, okay? The other one, if the unit should start to vibrate abnormally, stop. If you see a vibration like something is wrong, stop the engine, start to investigate, all right? Take all the possible precaution when leaving the vehicle unattended. Shut down the engine, take your keys and put it in your pocket.
So kids or whatever, somebody else, you ain't gonna start the tractor when you have to go to the bathroom or whatever. All right, reason. Of course, do not run the tractor inside when the door is closed, because you're asking yourself for your lungs and death will occur, of course. Never tolerate bystander. Something you can see on my video when I was in Shepherd, my dog were close sometimes. But I can see videos often like kids are getting close, or the camera lady or cameraman. Thing will happen, especially with a long scarf. Something loose clothing, it happened fast. So that's why yeah. Maintenance and storage. When cleaning, repair, or inspecting the vehicle and accessories, stop the engine, set the brake, remove the ignition key. All right, that's common sense. They're talking about transport. All right, when you put it on, when I move my snowblower to here, make sure it's all secure. They talk about the safety decals. It's important when you get damage, like here, how to put the augers. They're always on the opposite. Here it's the assembly. So it's a good manual. When you buy these snowblower, they tell you step by step how to assemble it, and it's very well detailed. Like chute installation, snowblower preparation, PTO drive preparation, how to measure it, how to cut it, how to connect it on the snowblower, and also after the tractor on the 3-point, how to adjust the skid shoes at adjustment. Everything is in the book. It's all I color it because for me, when I explain it to you, it's easier. But I always do that when I have a maintenance book. When I was working on aircraft, step by step, I used to have my highlighter, and all right, I am on that point, and that's it. All right. The operation, like I mark everything. Snowblower operation. Always inspect the hydraulic components of your tractor. I mean, check the hydraulic level, because it's gonna be the PTO, so you need hydraulic in the tractor. Double check that. Make sure the snowblower is clear of snow before engaging the snowblower. If your snowblower is started inside, the snow will be melted. But if it started outside, it was like a warm day, the snow packed on the ice. You don't want to start the snowblower when it's all packed on the ice, and then you need to break the ice, start the propeller, handle without the engine running, and then you can start the engine, then engage the PTO, so you ain't asking yourself in trouble. So everything is in there. Start the tractor engine. Before engaging the snowblower, drive always have the engine running at the medium range, but for me I always use it at low range at the beginning, then I crank up the RPM slowly and surely, and depending what type of snow I have. Because you don't need to run it at 450 RPM. I have many videos that I mentioned to you, hey listen, I'm only running at 300 RPM because it's a fluffy cold snow. But when it was wet and heavy, then yes, full RPM and very slow. All right. So control, chute control, everything. Snow removal. Yes. When removing snow, do not use the snowblower as a dozer blade to push the snow. You have to go as the snow. You have to look how much snow it's throwing, and you don't want to pack up the chute. So you have to go nice and easy. Win the race, all right? The first year I had the snowblower, I must have blown about 4 shear pins on the forward and one on the PTO. The second year and the third year, the second year I didn't break any shear pin. I learned. The third year, I think I only broke once, and this year only 1, 2. So just let you know, everybody's on. We all in the learning curve. Also the maintenance checks mounting bolts in frequent interval for proper tightness in order to prevent cluster repair. Make sure your snowblower is in safe working condition. Of course, this thing rotates. When I'm finished using the snowblower, I oil everything. Once it's out in the garage, I oil it even with the snow, and then before I use it, I put oil again, and I throw oil everywhere. Like even my good friend Joe Davies, there's grease everywhere. Well, I rather have oily and greasy snowblower and having no rust at all. And that way it's always looking new at springtime because I wipe off the excess. And that's it, because I don't want the dust, the oil will attract dust, especially in the garage. But usually I throw a cover, like a cotton cover over it. But this year I didn't do, alright. Adjustment, the skid shoes attachment, they talk about it. For me, I have crushed rock, so it's higher. If I was on asphalt, it was to be lower, so yes. Lubrication, that's the unit there. Apply oil at all pivot points, so that means the chutes, all the thing will rotate, and especially here, like I told you, on the chute addition, all chute base every 16 hours operation. So they said every 16, me, every time I use it, I throw oil in there all around, especially for the little thing here for the electrical engine. Gearbox, check the oil annually. If necessary, add. There's the type of oil. It's SA 90 oil or AJ Mag 5 EP oil. All right. The gearbox should have a total of 275 millimeter of oil or fill the rim to the bolt. So that little, I hope you're able to see that. Just not. All right, that little here, that's the maximum level. The fill up part is here and the empty is right under here. And when I look at the video of Ross on the land, Ross, he changed it. I don't remember how long he had it. Mine, it was the first winter that I was changing in and I was due. I don't say I was overdue, but let's say that if I will be happy to change it like at the beginning at fall. Now I'm changing during the winter time. I'm very happy, but I will change it not annually, but probably every 2 years for what I have for experience and how many hours I have to. But for the first year, yes, change it after 1 year, and then it's probably because it's normal, it's brand new, so there's a lot of metal flakes. So the first year change it, and then every 2 years, I think you'll be in business. But this is my own opinion, so change it every year. Probably it won't hurt, but for me, yeah, every 2 years it should be outstandingly fine. It depends how many hours you do. This year it was crazy. You can see all the videos. But when I was in Shefford, I was using less. Right, I had less snow. Cutting edge lubrication. The PTO shaft, it's every 8 hours. Any type of PTO shaft, usually it's 8 hours, and use a nice grease too. All right, now they talk about the maintenance. Make sure you everything is torque. You check all the bolts. Everything is good. And snowblower pulley replacement if you need to change part. And end of season storage, clean truly and repair all the parts from which the paint has worn. List the replacement part will be needed, store the component in a dry place, and follow the instructions for lubrication. So it's a very well made book. And here it's all the schematics, all the parts, the nice troubleshooting also. And the end, the last page, it's all about parts. And of course, there's the torque specification table. Very well made, very easy to understand. They use, this is the general specification torque, and they have like all here the SAE bolts. All right, this is the size screw. It's a matrix, and all the torque, like the foot pound, the pinch, the type of a coarse thread or a fine thread, everything is in there. It's a very well made book, and there's also an attachment you can buy after. Right, so that was the book for the maintenance of the snowblower. It's the Mahindra snowblower. The model is BER563PT. All right, 3-point attachment, 56 inches large. All right, now for the electric chute, I'm gonna go very briefly. Basically, it's how when you buy it from Bercomac or directly from your dealer, They can install it for you, but this is how to install it, assembled step by step. It's very well made. Install the electric control. They even have the diagram, what does and everything, all the parts and in there. For the electricity part, just hold on. I have it somewhere in, yeah. So everything here, the wire, the negative, then the positive, how to disconnect, how to connect it. Also the little control box. So I'm very brief about that. And yes, when performance and dependability are not negotiable, so that's Bercomac, and it's made in that stock in Canada, in the province of Quebec. And yes. Any question in the fall, ask me it, or whenever you ask me about the snowblower. But one thing I want you to remember is the to grease remove the shear pin oil, remove the shear pin oil and rotate like I'm doing right now, and also rotate that little piece I have here. I don't know if you can see it. All right, so I will talk to you. That will be the end of this video. All right. We'll see during the winter time about the resin that I put to it's a very nice smooth surface. I didn't meant to paint over it, but because since I was painting everything back in the original color, I had some. I'm very generous with the paint. But yes. Now for the other part, on the other side, to connect, I have many videos. I will have it in the link how I connect the snowblower into my tractor. If you have any specification, ask me. All right. Again, gentlemen and ladies, thank you outstandingly very much for all the support that you're giving me. There's a pretty outstanding, very well positive feedback comment that I had for you folks. That gave me the energy to give you how I do things in accordance with the book. All right, like you see me, I'm marking, and I do read it often. There's new Mahindra tractor owner or any type of owner. They ask me question. I'm very happy to answer it. I pass my knowledge. And my knowledge is always based on whatever the dealer are telling me, and of course they're credible, but also what the book is telling me. I have experience, but I rather go and I give you my experience. Like the book doesn't tell you to oil the shear pin and make sure. This is my experience because I saw that like rust welded and the shear pin. Well, then. You rather break a shear pin than inside of the transmission of the tractor. All right, so thank you again kindly, and please take care of yourself. Cheers.